So I think now we are live. Guys, can you see us? Can you see us? Okay, so 5 people are there. Let's wait for a minute so other people can join. Great, guys. First of all, thank you. Thanks a lot for attending this session. The primary reason for starting My Dream Store Labs is just to give a lot of insights to the campaigners who are starting fresh. At the same time, the campaigners who are struggling, to figure out right niches, to figure out right targeting techniques, to figure out what is selling well, and what audience are actually willing to purchase. So that is the primary reason why we started this My Dream Store Labs. So we call it as MDS Labs. This is something what we have been thinking for quite some time, but we have been on and off on it. I mean, we have been doing things on and off. But now, with the help of some of our great team members, we've decided that we should be pursuing it more seriously, so that campaigners can get more benefited out of this thing. So the first, as a part of that MDS laboratories, we started something called Get Set Sell series. I mean, Sindhu, one of our business development executive, have started this particular session, wherein we tell you what is working. We share across the designs that are working, and we share across the targeting that we choose to sell that particular product. And we provide you all the details about what is the right targeting that we used, what is the design files that we have used, what are the designs that we have used, so that you get an idea about how how you can start selling. Because all you need is that initial push to create and sell merchandise. So that is the primary reason for starting this Get Set Sell series. I think we have covered good number of niches. All of them are very basic niches, on how you can create, how you can sell, how to figure out niche. I mean, once you figure out niche, how you target them, how do you retarget them. All these things we have been covering in those sessions. So this webinar is primarily on Get Set Sell series. In case you guys have any queries related to Get Set Sell series, we are going to address all those queries here. So me, along with Nikhil, we are going to address these queries. So probably you can just post in comment section about the queries what you guys are having, so that we can try addressing those queries. So Jainesh Solanki has asked how to choose right audience. I mean, that is one thing. So in other words, how do you figure out the right niche that you're going to sell? So the the beauty of My Dream Store is, if you know whom you want to target, right? It becomes very easy, to design and target them. So unlike other companies where you first design and then target, so our platform is more like first you figure out whom you want to target, figure out whom you want to target, and then you target them using different techniques. And so the most important thing in campaigning is research. You have to figure out what is the niche that you're going to research, what is the niche that you're going to try, what is the niche that you're going to target. So this is the advice what I always give to the beginners. One is, you know first always start with a niche which you are more passionate about, so that you have some additional knowledge about that particular niche. For example, there are like a lot of campaigners, when they started blindly on different kinds of niches what are working on My Dream Store. Rather than that, what I would suggest is, for example, your passion is football, or you like following football. Maybe you should start a campaign on football niche, and maybe you can target audience on football niche, specific football niche. Or probably if your passion is into gym, or you're more passionate about being fit, or if you're a fitness freak, probably you should figure out certain campaigns on fitness niche, and then probably you should go out and then try that fitness niche. So first, when you are starting, you should figure out what is that you are more passionate about. If it is something related to fitness, or something related to bikes, something related to travel, something related to your profession, first you figure out that particular niche and start selling in that niche. So that is how you should start. Once you start, you will start getting a lot of ideas on what can be other niches that you can target, what can be other things that Facebook lets you target, and accordingly you can try different set of audience. So in the beginning, when you are starting, probably you can figure out the niche what you are more passionate about, what you have more information about, and you should start. And slowly you can start moving to other niches. Probably active campaigns page. If you look at My Dream Store website, there's an active campaigns page. You can figure out what campaigns are selling well on My Dream Store, and accordingly you can start figuring out whether you can target that particular niche, and accordingly you can start working on that niche. I'll just give a small example. I'll just give a small example. So one of our in-house marketeer is a good. He's very passionate about bikes. So when he started, he tried, just copying other people who are already selling on My Dream Store. He just started mimicking, the niches what others are selling on My Dream Store. So what happened is he was unable to get any success. Later, one advice what I've given to him is, why don't you just pick up the niche what you are more passionate about, or what you have more knowledge. So he started working on a niche that is bikes. I mean, he's more passionate about bikes, so he started a niche on bikes, and he was able to crack that niche, and he was able to get basic knowledge about Facebook ads. He was able to get knowledge about what kind of posts people interact, what kind of posts people engage, what kind of designs that people will be interested in buying. So all this information, as he is already aware about that particular niche, he is able to do much better in that niche. And once he got grip of basics of campaigning, basics of advertising, then he went out. Maybe he might not have made a lot of money on the first campaign, but he got the basics of things, and he moves on to the next campaign, and probably he'll be making a huge lot of money over there. So that is one thing what I would suggest. I mean, if you are a beginner, what you should always look at is figuring out the niche what you are more passionate about. Even in case if that niche might not bring you a lot of success, maybe you can spend small amounts of money. Maybe in terms of 50 rupees or 100 rupees in different ad sets, and then get some basic knowledge about advertising, basic knowledge about campaigning. Then you can move on to the next niche, right? So that is one thing. Please keep shooting the questions. We're not going to have this session for a longer duration. This is just going to be a kind of a very short session. We'll just be here for 30 more minutes. You guys can keep asking questions to us. on campaigning, on niches? Anything about Get Set Sell series? Great. So I think the timing, Saturday morning, 11:30. Probably people are not so very active, online. They're still having hangover, or they might be a little busy with a lot of other things. Which is better at targeting? This is Jainesh again. Which is better at targeting, FB or Google? Probably Nikhil can answer this question. Nikhil.
Yeah. Hello, Jainesh. It's always better to target in Facebook. You will be able to reach right people in Facebook, whereas in Google, you'll not be able to reach right people. That is the main issue. I mean, in Facebook, it's more of impulse purchase behavior, whereas in Google is more of intent purchase behavior. So that's the basic difference between Facebook and Google. So when people go to your Facebook newsfeed and they find good creative and good ad copy, then they definitely click on it and they go to the website and make a purchase. But whereas in Google, they need to come to the website and then look for the product which they want. So I think it's always better targeting Facebook, as there are more number of options in Facebook.
So, just to add a point onto it, Google is more like you're looking for something, you go there and you search about it. For example, I want to give a gift to my dad on Father's Day. So what I'll do, I'll go to Google and then I'll just look for, Father's Day gifts. Then, there'll be a lot of suggestions, given by Google. A lot of ad suggestions that will be given by Google, and probably I'll go and I'll purchase them. Whereas on Facebook, how it happens is, Facebook, generally people use Facebook more when they are leisure or when they just want to have some fun time. So that is a primary duration when people stay on Facebook. So, Facebook have more modern ways of targeting. You can target people by age group, you can target people by their demographics, you can target people by their core interests. So what will happen is, when I know that you like, you like to travel a lot and you're a very frequent traveler, and if I come across, if I have a good product which is more into traveling, and if I show that product to you, very high chances that you might, get more curious about the product, click that product, and go purchase that product. Whereas in Google, on Google, you don't spend time on leisure fashion. So primarily on Google, mostly what you do, you just search for things. You'll be either reading something or you'll be looking for some information or something or the other. Whereas on Facebook, you try to spend a lot of leisure time. So that is one primary thing. And as I said, the targeting is a little different on Facebook. Facebook have given you the complete information of targeting, depending upon your age, depending upon your sex, depending upon your demographic. So it's kind of a brilliant thing. So especially on our platform, 98% of the campaigners are using Facebook as their primary source of advertising channel. But definitely Google is also a kind of a great platform. We have been using Google for retargeting. We are doing a lot of ads on Google retargeting. So that's another story altogether. We'll be putting that in a different session, once we have enough numbers to share it with you guys. Right. So the next question.
What are the keywords for humors in Facebook?
What are the keywords for humors in Facebook? So yeah, so whenever we have humor thing, for example, there was this design, National Geographic Channel. There was a logo of National Geographic Channel. So instead of National Geographic Channel, they have modified it to National Sarcasm Society. This is a kind of a very famous design outside. So, depending upon the trend, people sold. There was a time when people sold a lot of T-shirts on this thing. I believe you guys are aware of this meme, Big Guy Government. So this is a kind of a very famous meme. A lot of campaigners picked Big Guy Government, and very recently there was one more thing called Aao Kabhi Haveli Pe. So these are two, funny, humorous, trending things of that particular thing. So what channels that you can use for these kind of designs is, one, you have targeting like East India comedy. You have targeting like AAB, All India Bakchod. You have targeting like TBF Cutie Appa. So there are like different channels where where you have already engaged in the past. So maybe you can just have intersection of AIB, intersection TBF Cutie Appa, intersection East India comedy. So that is one way which we tried earlier, and it did give some decent results. We haven't tried in a very wide fashion. Probably we'll definitely try it out and then see. Maybe you can use these keywords in your ad, and you can share your results with us. But this is a kind of a very tricky niche. Until unless your design is good and your meme is trending, you'll not be able to have good success. So always you have to figure out what is more trending in the market, what is the kind of funny thing that is trending in the market, and probably you can create a niche around that and sell. Maybe very recently we have seen a lot of campaigners selling designs on this YouTube sensation, that Dinchak Puja. There's like a design, maine selfie maine le liya, or scooter, something like that. I mean, there are some designs which were trending. So no, I'm not, Dheeraj, I'm not asking you to use AIB logo or something. This is just targeting. So you create a design, humorous design. So to target that humorous design in Facebook targeting, you can use All India Bakchod or TBF Cutie Appa. So here you're not using their brand name on design. You're just using their brand name for reaching the audience who like that page. So there'll not be any copyright issue as such. Which ad creative works best for selling t-shirts? In CPA during sales season, a lot of advertisers bidding high on Facebook. So Nikhil, maybe you can just.
Hi Manshu, you asked which ad creative works best for selling t-shirts. It depends on the type of objective what you're doing. For example, in Facebook, we have PP ads, traffic ads, and conversion ads. For example, if you're doing PP ad, you always go for a page post, which is just 200 cross 200, and go with the creative content over it, so that people, when they look into it, they'll definitely click on it and go to the website. And you can use the same page post for conversion ad too, and your targeting might be the same, or but might not be the same. For example, PP ad, if you're doing a PP ad, it's always helpful to test your design. So if people are engaging with your post and engaging with the content, then you can be sure that your design is good, and then you can go for the conversion ad. So this is what we do, I mean, in terms of ad creative. And there are few other types of ad creatives. Example, 200 cross 628. So this creative is helpful when you are doing a retargeting ad. Main purpose is when people see your retargeting ad on the right hand column. So there's a lot of chance that people click on it and they make a purchase. And there's also one more ad creative which we generally use is carousel banners. In carousel banners, 600 to 600 is the dimension what we use. So if you're doing a storefront, it's always better to use carousel banners, carousel adverts, so that people go through a lot of options what you're providing in the storefront, and they click on it and then come to the website. So these are the three kind of creatives, and based on the objective, you go for a page post, or you go for a 200 cross 620, or go for a carousel ad.
So primarily, when we are doing retargeting, we have got good results if we use banner like 100 or 628, because when you are doing retargeting, your audience size itself is very less. So probably you can do a 1,200 plus 628. So your product will mostly be visible on the right hand column for desktop users. So that is one really good thing. But most of the times what we use is we use 1,200 plus 1,200 banner. The beauty about this 1,200 plus 1,200 conversion page post banner is the size. The size of the banner is big, so that the product size is the product size is pretty good on the banner. So you have a lot of space to share things. For example, you can write buy now. You can write limited edition product, or you can put a model, or you can do a lot of experiments on that. So what we have observed is 1200 plus 1200 has given pretty good results in terms of engagement, in terms of conversions. So mostly we use that particular ad creative. Now, you can use Canva. Canva is a great platform for creating, basic ad creatives. So Canva is a very interesting tool. Earlier, we were highly dependent on our designers for getting ad creatives. Now, our marketeers use Canva, and they just make the ad creative using Canva. And the second question, Himanshu, was your CPA, whether your CPA increased during sales season. A lot of advertisers bidding high on Facebook. So we have observed one pattern, Himanshu. At the end of every quarter, last week of March, last week of June, or last week of every quarter, we have been observing that CPAs generally go high, and during festive season, CPA generally do go high. So the primary reason why last weeks of every quarter the CPA go high is because all these bigger companies, all these multinational companies, or big e-com companies and all, they'll be having certain goals, they'll be having certain projections. So to meet their projections, they will definitely have huge lot of marketing spend that will be spent during those days. So obviously, when a lot of people are bidding to reach the same kind of audience, your CPM will increase. So automatically, your high chances that your CPA also will increase. So that is one pattern what we have observed. But during the sales season, during festive season, what we have observed is irrespective of how many people bidding, the mood of consumer also will be to purchase things. So there will be very good mood will be very good mood among the buyers that let me purchase product for this festive season and all. So we don't have any kind of issue during sales season, but definitely what we have observed is during the last week of every quarter we have certain issues in terms of CPS. And whenever Facebook comes up with a new algorithm, whenever it changes the algorithm, we do have some kind of effect during with the ads. So that is it. Akshay said, do you know why CPM has increased so much since June? It's mid-July now. So Akshay, there is no solid answer to your question why CPM has increased so much. But certain campaigners have been saying that their CPM have come back to very normal after June, over a period of time. Currently our CPMs are very normal. Some of the campaigners are experiencing their CPMs to be very normal. Maybe it's because the niche what you are trying, maybe you might have already reached out to maximum number of people in that niche, or maybe your ad creative is not very engaging. So that might be one reason why your CPM is high. So Facebook also punishes you in case your ad creative is not so good, or probably in case a lot of people are not engaging with your ad. Facebook punishes you by showing it to the less people and charging you more. So that might be one reason. Maybe you should try changing ad creative and then see if CPM is coming down. So, or maybe you can look at some other niches where and check whether your CPM is down. But what we are observing is currently CPMs have come back to normal stage. So that is one thing, Akshay. Anup, hi, I want to know how much budget should I invest to achieve 5 goal?
Hi Anup, it depends on what niche you are trying. Example, if you're trying birthday niche, and if you're starting, your pixel is new, so your pixel might need some time to analyze the audience, or to know the audience who can click on your ad and then make a purchase. So in general, if you're a new campaigner on MindInstone, you have started your new ad account, what may happen is you invest more so that pixel can get slightly matured. Your pixel get the right number of pixel files for view content, add to cart, and purchase events. But when you slowly start maturing your pixel while doing a different niche in different segments, or different designs in different niche, then I think your budget might come down to try out the to achieve the 5 goal for single campaign. And initially, when you're a new campaigner, you might be investing 1,000 rupees in order to get to reach a goal of 5. So if you're starting a birthday campaign, example, Legends are born in August campaign, and it might take around 400 rupees to get a first purchase. But when you get a first purchase, Facebook generally slightly knows who will click on your ad, who has a more chance of, who are more afraid to buy. So it slowly start optimizing towards those people who can purchase on it. And so don't panic if your cost per conversion is high in the initial stages, but later on the cost per conversion might come down when it reaches three purchases or 4 purchases or 5 purchases. So there's no need to panic when your cost per purchase is high in the initial stages. So I think ideal budget every new campaigner should be 1,000 rupees to at least test the design.
Great. I think Anup, Nikhil has covered your question. So Dheeraj has asked, August is coming with many events like 15th August, Ganesh Chaturthi, Raksha Bandhan. Should we target them from last of July or nearby their dates? So I would say, you should start targeting them immediately, because, as you guys are aware that we are a kind of a campaign model where you have to get a minimum goal, and once the goal is met, we ship. So again, logistics will be taking around 3 days. Manufacturing will take around 3 days. Maybe your campaign is going to take around 4 days. So, if you make a calculation altogether, it will be around 10 days. So what we always do is, whenever there is an event that is going to come, 3 weeks down the line, we'll be starting straight away. So we'll be starting targeting about that particular campaign straight away. You'll be able to see some of the campaigners have already started campaigning about Raksha Bandhan. That is one thing. Like campaigners who already started, working on Kargil Vijay Divas. That's, I think, 26th of this month. So that is one thing. Independence Day. Yeah, definitely you can start. In the last 3rd week of July or last week of July. So you should always plan, at least 2 to 3 weeks before the event, so that you can campaign well and you can leverage assets. Because when Father's Day was there, if you start almost a month before the event, what will happen is, initially you'll not be starting with a huge lot of budgets. You'll be starting with smaller budgets. You'll start getting good audience. You'll start capturing your assets, like people who engage with the page, people who visited, people who bought, people who add the product to cart. And you will leverage the resources, like you create lookalikes of them, you create retargeting add to cart retargeting ads for them, and you leverage those assets and make sales. So what will happen if you just start 1 week before the event? Probably you don't have enough time to leverage resources. Maybe you have to spend a huge lot of money on reaching out to people, more people in less time. So it's always good if you start 3 to 4 weeks well before the event. You can start slow, and once you start slow, you'll be in a better shape to take the right decisions. Right. So that is one. And Anup asked, what is the best niche to start? It's a very subjective question. What I would suggest is, in case you look at the tags on My Dream Store, active campaigns, and among those tags, you can figure out what is that one specific niche which you have more idea about. So I would suggest you to pick that niche and you can start. Or the other side, you can go through the Get Set Sell videos what we have made, and you can just figure out which niche you want to pick. What is the niche that you have gut feeling that it might work? You can just start with that. You can start with a smaller budget, like 100 rupees a day, or 150 rupees a day, and you can start working on things like that. There's one person who asked, which one is best, 1-day clicking window or 7-day clicking window? Again, it depends upon multiple parameters, and depends upon how you're operating. So whenever we have a short thing that this niche is going to work, but I might have to wait for some time to collect a lot of data, to collect a lot of information, so that my pixel gets matured, I will be using 7-day clicking window. Generally, top marketeers, or good marketeers who are spending a lot of money, so who have the patience to wait, they use 7-day clicking window. And for the beginners, they generally start with 1-day clicking window. So it's totally up to you what you want to do. But we do use both. Certain niches we start with 1-day clicking window, but certain niches which got matured more, which we are very sure that this is going to work, so we use 7-day clicking window. So that's the case. Anup, want to know what things I have to take serious to succeed. So one, I think the niche, what is the niche that you're going to pick, that is the most important thing. Once you figure out the niche, you should do some background research on what designs that people will be interested in buying. Maybe Pinterest is a very good platform where you can look for designs. So for example, you want to target lawyers. So lawyers, there will be all the basic designs people might have used and people might have sold on the platform. Maybe you can just go to Pinterest, search lawyer funny t-shirts, or biker funny t-shirts, or fitness funny t-shirt. You can figure out, and you can accordingly pick that design reference, and maybe you can use that design reference and start recreating a design, and maybe you can sell that particular design on the platform. So niche, first is niche. Second, your design should be a little unique, and third is your right targeting. I mean, you should be targeting, in a right manner. So these are three things, and there are like a lot of campaigners who had to go through a lot of struggle during the initial days. I mean, maybe their first 5 campaigns didn't work, maybe their first 10 campaigns didn't work, maybe their first 15 campaigns didn't work, but they didn't give up. They were able to crack it on a later date because of the knowledge what they have gained. But one advice what I would always give to the people who are starting up is, not to spend too much amount of money so that you regret later that results are not coming. Start with smaller amounts. You segregate certain amount. Let's say I'm going to spend 2,000 or I'm going to spend 5,000 rupees on experiments till the time I figure out. Be more disciplined. Start with smaller budgets. Start looking at your data. Start analyzing how many people are actually engaging on the post, how many people are adding the product to cart. You do retargeting, do add to cart retargeting. So like a lot of basic things. If you do them right, it is very it's not very tough to achieve that goal of 5 members. Karthik, do you guys still run birthday niche for past months, say April, May, and see success?
Hi Karthik, yes. Currently, we're not doing any birthday niche. I mean, we're not doing any PP ads or conversion ads of previous months, because here what happens is people don't have that much facility to buy for birthday campaigns for April, May, and other months which have gone past, because the intent might be very less when compared to the coming months. Whereas coming months, birthdays in August or September, people might have more chance of buying it, liking the product, and buying it. But whereas for previous months like April, May, and June, which have gone past, people might not show interest unless and until if you provide a discount coupon of around 50 rupees or 100 rupees. Then people might definitely show an interest in buying your product. But unless and until if you're not giving any incentives or not giving any what would we call good showcase of your product, people might not be able to, people will not buy your product.
Great. Guys, can you see us? I mean, in case you guys are having problem, just comment here in the live chat section. Right, I hope Nikhil have answered your questions, or not able to find a lot of interest to target that has been provided in cheat sheet for targeting. Rishi, so Facebook have been, changing interest section. So probably those interests what we used earlier, they're not there currently. So we'll try keeping that sheets updated. We'll try keeping that sheets updated. Even we came to know very recently about this thing that earlier for Raksha Bandhan, we used to have a keyword Raksha Bandhan or Raksha Bandhan, but now Facebook have disabled that keyword. So Facebook have been changing a lot on the keywords as well. So we'll try, to keep those sheets up to date so that it'll be helpful for you to target. Right? Have you seen any success for video ads, slideshow ads? Himanshu, yes, definitely. Video ads, slideshow ads. A lot of campaigners have used. Not a lot, definitely, some campaigners have used this video ads, slideshow ads to get success. So I'll tell you how they used. So we used to have different products in a single campaign. We used to have hoodies, we used to have t-shirts, we used to have vests, tank tops, and we used to have different color products for a single campaign. So what a campaigner did, this was a pretty good thing. What a campaigner did was campaigner created a video ad, just a 12-second video ad where he showed the same design on different color products. So what happened was, when you show an ad copy, like black T-shirt with ad copy saying that Kings are born in August. So what will happen is, in case if I'm not interested in that particular color, maybe I don't, click that ad, or maybe I feel that I already have a lot of T-shirts, so I don't need to buy more T-shirts. So with the video ad, he is able to show, different color products. So if I'm considering that black I don't want to buy, but I also have another option that, blue is there, red is there, or that is one thing. And the second thing is, probably if I don't want to buy a T-shirt, I also have a hoodie. So with video ad, slideshow ad, you can show multiple variations of the same product. That is one thing. The second thing is, you can show multiple products if you are working on a storefront concept. So if I have 4 to 5 designs on a fitness store, so I create a kind of a video ad, and I just show a kind of video to the people who engage, who are more likely to engage. So video ads and slideshow ads are very beneficial in this way. So you can definitely give it a try for your winner campaign. The campaign which have sold well. So you can figure out that campaign, and then you can try creating these ads and see how it's going to work, and definitely share the results, because we'll also be doing a small study on video ads and slideshow ads, and we'll come back to you, about our case study on this. What is your formula for finding new niches? So there are like a lot of tools we use. We use a tool called T-Spy. We look at a lot of other T-shirt selling websites like Teespring, Viral Style, Gear Bubble. There are a lot of other platforms where we look at what are the most trending things on online currently, and we also look at, as I said, when it is humor, we also look at what are the things that are trending online currently, and we try to work on those niches. So we'll share across a list of the tools what we use while doing the research. So I think that will be helpful. Nagraj, we have to create every niche separate Facebook page, or all niche in one page. Nikhil, maybe.
Yeah, Nagraj, it's always better to have a separate Facebook page for each niche, so that it helps you to build a community. It helps you build a more number of engagement with the people who are already there in the page. And if you do all the niche under one single page, you'll not be able to differentiate the engagements per post you have got. So in order to maintain a separate separate niche, a separate page for separate niche, it's always better to have in that way, so that you can always leverage on page engagements. You can always leverage on people who have messaged your post, or people who have clicked on any advert, or any people who have commented, people who have engaged, etc. So it's always better to have a separate Facebook page for different niche.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a gold advice. You should always have a different page for different niches what you target, because you can build assets. For example, I've done an ad on a biking niche. Okay, so I've sold around 10 products or 15 products. But when I sold 10, 15 products, at high chances that almost around 100 to 500 people visited my website, or 1,000 to 2,000 people engaged on my Facebook page. So what I can do is, maybe I can create lookalike of the people who engaged on my Facebook page, or probably I can create lookalike of the people who who engaged on to my specific posts, or who looked at my videos, and accordingly I can target them. So it's always good if you have different pages for different niches. So it's always I would always suggest you to go for that. Do you have the next question? Do you have any term as normal CPM approx? So there is no specific term as normal CPM approx. It'll be different for different niches. So I cannot generalize what will be the average CPM or something, because they're poles apart. For certain niches you have around 270 rupees as CPM. For certain niches you will be having roughly around 20-30 rupees as CPM. So they're like poles apart. So you'll not be able to generalize that. Triambak have asked, if we already had success before, so does the pixel remembers a niche that bought sales, and it becomes difficult to crack the new niches? What's your take? Triambak, before launching this new pixel, Facebook has an option where you can create multiple pixels and you can target multiple audience. And you can use it while targeting multiple audience. But now Facebook have improved its pixel. At the same time, people started having some difficulties that they are going to have a single pixel and going to target. So we are not finding it much difficult in using a single pixel for all the niches. Overall, we only have a single pixel what we are using for all our niches currently. But there are certain marketeers who are using different pixels for different accounts. But ideally, what happens is, start creating different pixels for different accounts. Managing your niche will become very difficult. Managing your Facebook ad accounts will become a little difficult. So that is one thing. And maybe once you have very good knowledge about Facebook ads, once you are in a position to spend a lot of money, that's when maybe you can go out and then start creating different pixels. And nowadays you can create multiple pixels using Facebook. So that is also, that option is also there. You can try that. Okay, Parul asked, what should be the exact budget if we start our campaign by website conversion ad with purchase pixel, not by PP and CTW. Okay, see, if you are new, what I would always suggest is you can start with around 100, 150 rupees. You can keep a campaign duration of around 4 days. That is something what I would always suggest, 4 to 5 days as your campaign duration, and go ahead and start on day one with a very smaller budget, maybe around 150 rupees or something like that. And look at the data, look whether people are engaging onto your ad, look whether people are adding the product to your cart, and go ahead and then maybe you can duplicate that ad, or maybe you can just let information for 2 more days, and maybe you can just duplicate that ad with slightly higher budget. So there is no fixed amount, but whenever we try, we start with around 150 rupees as budget, 150, 200, 250. These are the three things what most of the marketeers use. There are many who don't come under any niche. The condition, what should be the interest? If I make creative of Namaste or Vanakkam. So Dheeraj, all these are generic designs. So for example, Namaste, I am very doubtful if people will be interested in buying this product unless you represent Namaste in a very humorous way. Vanakkam, maybe yes, people might buy. These days we are seeing a lot of people are interested in buying regional niches, campaigners who are selling Bengali related t-shirts, there are campaigners who are selling Punjabi related t-shirts, there are campaigners who are selling Tamil related t-shirts. So maybe Vanakkam might work, but just with the word it might not sell. Maybe you can try adding some humor to it, or maybe you can try adding some creative, and then maybe the targeting option for that is for people who are not living in Tamil Nadu and who knows Tamil. That might work for designs which are regional based. So very recently, I've come across a campaigner who is doing exceptionally well in a Bengali niche. So maybe I will take his permission and then post a case study on how he is cracking that. Harsh, how do you target humor-based t-shirts? Humor is very tricky. I would suggest you to stay away in case you are not well aware of marketing. But in case you are aware, you can use intersections like AIB, TVF, QTAPA, East India Comedy. Karthik, you could what you have replied to my question. Sorry, Karthik, I'll definitely come back to your question. What price t-shirt and hoodies sell like hotcake? So maybe Nikhil.
Hi Dheeraj. The price per tee generally what we keep is $5.99, and this is we saw this. This is a price we really has a lot of success with a lot of campaigns and in-house too. And nowadays, there are a lot of campaigns who are trying at the price of $6.99, and even then we are able to sell. Even in the in-house also, we tried for a few campaigns at $6.99 pricing, and we were able to sell a t-shirt at $6.99 also. But in order to sell like a hotcake, you always where to go for $5.99 pricing, where your margin is also good. I mean, where your base price is $2.95 and selling price is $5.99, so the margin also good. In order to sell like hotcake, where to go with $5.99. If you're not sure your design is good. If your design is too good, then you can definitely go with $6.99 pricing. And there is scope if you do A/B testing, and for the same campaign, if you want to try for different design or scalable design, then go for one campaign at $5.99 pricing and go for other campaign at $6.99 pricing, and then you can test it from there. What people are willing to buy. And example, if you're doing in a biker a biker niche design or some design on photography, the people are so passionate to buy. So definitely you can go for a pricing of $699, and I'm sure that people will definitely buy at $699 pricing.
If your design is good, I mean,
Yeah.
if you have a very unique offering, definitely at a pricing of $699, also we are getting takers. See, when we started, My Dream Store exactly in 2014, we started selling T-shirts at $299. I mean, you guys understand, So over a period of time, we are able to, increase the pricing. Buyers are able to purchase the products at $399, $499, $599. Now they're like a good set of campaigners who are selling the products at $699. At $699, one positive thing what we are observing is at $699, your prepaid percentages are slightly high. So only very serious buyers are buying at $699. So that is one thing you can definitely try in case you have figured out a very passionate niche. You can definitely try at $699. And Karthik's question: do you still run birthday niche for past months? Karthik, in short, we are not finding very good CPA for the past months because people are not so very curious about that. But we haven't tried with new designs. Maybe you can come up with a new design and maybe you can have a try and share the result with us. But in-house we have been. Once we have tested with the old designs only. We haven't tested with the new designs. Maybe we'll create a new design and then test that segment, and we'll come back to you on that. And how do you find targeting list for any random design? Nikhil?
I know it's very difficult to find a targeting list for random design, and it's always better to keep your design specific rather than keeping generic. If your design is generic, I will not be able to know who will be the right audience you can target. Earlier we had audience insights in Facebook, but now Facebook has removed audience insights completely. So we'll not be able to know exactly who people for your random design. So always try to keep your design specific, or try to keep see your design is scalable design with a good code where people can show interest on it.
Right. So Akshay has posted a question. Why second launch have the goal limit 2? Right. See, Akshay, how the manufacturing works is, I'm not sure whether you guys have gone through the video by mobile, but we'll make a post. Definitely, we'll make a post on how the T-shirt printing works very soon. So, just to give a brief idea. So what happens is once you launch a campaign and once a campaign gets successful, so what we do is we pick the design, we make the screen. So it takes a certain amount of time to make the screen. For example, it takes around 1.5 hours to make a specific screen, 1 to 1.5 hours to make a screen. Once a screen is made, okay, so to print your T-shirts, let's say you've got 10 orders. So to print your 10 orders, first what we have to do is we have to set the screen. We have to set the screen onto the machine and we have to print the T-shirts. Once you print the T-shirts, you just remove the screen and you keep it aside. So your screens have a lifetime. Your screens stay for around 2 weeks. I mean, after 2 weeks, the screen starts getting deteriorated, or the quality of the screens get degraded. So some of the campaigners are asking, anyhow, the campaigns are getting relaunched within that 14-day duration. Why are you not able to minimize the goal? So here the most important thing is, it takes a lot of time to, set the screen onto the machine. It takes a lot of time to clean the screen. First you have to clean the screen before setting it onto the machine. You have to clean all the dyes which were there earlier, dry the screen, then fix the screen onto the machine, check the alignment if the alignment is proper. This entire process takes almost around half an hour. So for printing 10 T-shirts, it will only take around 5 minutes to 10 minutes. But the other process, like setting up the screen onto the machine, or setting up, making the screen, all this are kind of a manual task. So what will happen is, even to print a single T-shirt, let's say for the second launch, you have got 1 T-shirt. So even to print a single T-shirt, so we have to spend almost around 30 to 40 minutes for getting the entire process set up. So we'll not be able to make right unit economics for printing a single T-shirt. That is a primary reason why we don't print single T-shirts when the goal is not met. So that is a primary reason your cost dynamics will not work in case you're not printing enough amount of products in a single iteration. So that is the case. So we don't have any future plans to minimize the goal quantity for screen printing. Being said that, we are also exploring other options like DTG, direct to garment print, where you can print even a single T-shirt, but the costs are currently high. We are doing some experiments on DTG. So very soon you will be able to hear about that. I mean, the last 2 months we have been doing, last 3 months in fact, we have been doing experiments about direct to garment print. Costs are coming high. Currently we are doing the direct to garment print, facing some losses, but we are trying to figure out how we can optimize the cost so that we can transfer some cost benefit to the campaigners. Now, maybe sometime next week, I'll share across a video on explaining how the entire production system works, so that you'll get an idea about why it is not possible to print one T-shirt or two T-shirts using screen printing mechanism, even if the screens are ready, right? Guys, we just have 10 minutes of time. So if you have any questions, just post. We just have 10 minutes of time. Hoodies are missing nowadays. Don't worry. We are also missing hoodies a lot these days. So hoodies will get live very soon in the month of August. You'll be able to see hoodies in the month of August. Probably by mid of August, you'll be able to see hoodies. And this time we are also planning to come up with some other innovative products in hoodies. Like last year, a lot of people requested why can't we have zipper hoodies on the platform. So we are coming up with zipper sweatshirt. So you should be able to see that as well onto the platform. So by mid of August, you'll be able to see Dheeraj regarding the hoodies. Karthik, I've been running daily budget campaigns, thinking to shift to lifetime budget. Any advice? Karthik, there are campaigners who are using lifetime budget. There are campaigners who are using daily budget. So it all depends upon your account, your testing skills. So we've started experimenting lifetime budgets. We've just started, very recently doing serious experiments about lifetime budget. So maybe it will take 2-3 weeks for us also to analyze the results and share it with you. But there are a couple of campaigners. Gagan is using lifetime budget. There are a couple of other campaigners who are using lifetime budgets. I can put you in touch with them. Maybe you can have one-on-one with them and then understand what is working. But until unless you try and test on your own, you'll not be able to tell whether which is working good for you. So I would suggest, maybe with small budgets, you can try lifetime budget and then see what is working for you. Okay, so Harsh, suppose I pay FB ads $1 USD. Yeah, maybe.
Suppose I pay FB ads in $1 and will $1 give me equal to just $65, or will it be less? Harsh, it always depends on the country whom you're targeting. So if it be US dollar, if it be Singapore dollar, if it be Australian dollar, if it be Indian currency, the reach will be same. If you're targeting people in India, for example, if you're targeting people in USA or some other country like UK or France or Germany, the reach might be different depending on cost per impression. But if you're targeting Indian people, the US dollar currency and Indian currency, no matter what the currency used, the reach will be same.
Yeah, so your reach will remain same irrespective whether you're being charged in FP by dollars or rupees. Suresh, sir, I run WC ad with the starting of campaign. What should be the budget and should I kill the ad? Yeah, I mean, you can start with 150, 200 rupees and, if you don't get sale in the first 3 days, yes, definitely you can turn off the ad, but you analyze the data, during that 3 days, how many people engage with the page? Are people commenting? Are people sharing? Are people liking your design? Or people adding the design to add to to the cart? So first analyze the data, then accordingly you can take the decision whether you should wait for some more time or you can turn the ad off. So that is what about it. Rishiraj, if we find good niche and getting results, so should we stick with that or try different niches also? So Rishi, it is more like you should always have one niche that is always working for you. So you should not give up on that niche which is working. Along with that, if you find other niches, it's always good. I mean, the beauty of our platform is, you can try any number of designs, any number of niches at one time, so you don't have any problem. So you can always try different niches. Suresh CH with Purchase Pixel, yeah. Gautam, any GST requirements? Gautam, yes, there are certain GST requirements. So we are going to make a blog. I mean, it got a little delayed, but definitely today, tomorrow, we'll be making the blog. Yes, Facebook have come up with this policy that you should update your GST number. We are also trying. We are also trying to come up with an article on how you can register for GST, and where you should update your GST number on social media, Facebook. On MDS platform, currently we are getting the PAN card, we are getting the bank details. We are not collecting GST details from the campaigner. So we don't have any issue about GST on our side, but Facebook will definitely be having GST requirements. Currently, they are not going to pause your campaigns at least for 15 days. I mean, that is what I came to know. At least till this month end, our ads will not be paused. So you can, you still have time, and getting GST is not so difficult. I'll write a detailed blog on how you can get a GST. Website conversion ad for new campaign. To start a campaign is good, or now I have 6 sale till now in other campaign. Suresh, yes, you can start with website conversion ad. I mean, different people start with different ads. Some people start with page post engagement. Some people start straight away with conversion ad. We straight away start with conversion ad. Mobile have this policy that he start with page post engagement ad. So it depends on different marketeers. Different marketeers have different strategies. So what I would suggest is, I would suggest you to test what is working for you, and accordingly you can decide and take call whether you should start with page post engagement ad or website conversion ad. Gautam, yes, GST number is mandatory now onwards. So on My Dream Store platform, it is not mandatory, but on on Facebook ad platform, it's going to be mandatory. So Gautam, probably we should be we should get a GST number. I will share you the procedure on how to get a GST number. Anup, can you post your question? Probably.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. You asked, sir, how to run Facebook ads, whether switch will work. For that, should I buy a course from somewhere who already succeed, or I should do myself to get experience? Yeah, no need to buy any courses. Once you start doing Facebook ads, you will be able to know what are things working, what are things not working. So it's an ideal thing. It should be a personal experience rather than getting paid from someone and learning the courses. And Facebook has a very good interface for learning Ads Manager too. We have a Facebook Business Help where you can post your queries. There's an online community forum, and we also have MDS University here, where if you have any query, a lot of campaigns will be helping you out. So no need to panic, no need to buy any courses from any people. Unless and until if you want, if you're more interested, or if you have good investment to buy some course, you can go for it. But unless if you don't have any, then you can do for your personal experience.
So we have been working on My Dream Store University. A lot of campaigners have learned a lot from My Dream Store University. So you can straight away get into My Dream Store University and get onto My Dream Store University, understand what niche is all about, what ad is all about, what kind of ads are there, what kind of targeting options are there. So first understand, go through My Dream Store University. Second step, maybe you can, whenever you are stuck somewhere, whenever you have some question somewhere, maybe you can just post on our community. There will be a lot of, there are like a lot of amazing campaigners out there who are willing to help, in case you are stuck somewhere. And once you are able to do some campaign successfully, once you are able to know things, and if you feel that there is a scope that still there is a lot of learning that is left, definitely you can look for courses that can help you on a long term, getting more success and all. But to start with, you can just leverage on My Dream Store University and our community, right? So Harsh. So GST is mandatory even if I don't own a business. Yes, Harsh, it's going to be mandatory, especially for Facebook ads as of now. But still, but still, there is no clarity. We should be hearing from Facebook sometime soon. But as of now, as per what Facebook have told, that it is mandatory for individual to have GST to run ads. So that's the case. So we are just going to take two more questions.
Optimization occur in ad set level.
Sure. So, guys, just we'll take Rishraj question, and if there is any question, one more question we'll take. Yes, great, Rishraj.
Yeah. Rishiraj asked, does optimization occur in ad set level or campaign level? Rishi, the optimization occurs in ad set level primarily because, example, if you're running 5 ad sets under one single campaign, so Facebook will try to optimize it ad set level and under the ad level too. If you're doing 2 ads under one ad set, the Facebook also does optimize based on ad level. So, according on your doubt, Facebook always optimize under ad set level, not on campaign level. And the example what you have posted, my campaign gave me 30 purchases, but ad set gave me 5 purchases per ad set. But FB works when we get 15 20 sales, but then sales should be in campaign level or ad set levels. These sales should be under ad set level, not on campaign level, Rishi. In that way, Facebook will be able to optimize your ad sets primarily and get you more sales.
Great. So I think that answered the question. So the next question, Anup, I follow same targeting like get, set, sell, then will I get sales? Anup, I mean, get, set, sell is primarily for you to understand, what niches that we have tried, what designs we have used, what ad copies we have used, and what is the exact targeting we have used. So maybe you can just try and then look, if it is working for you. So you can pick up some niche and then try if it is working for you. Maybe you can tweak the design or you can change the design to certain extent and then see you're getting good results. So that is the case. Suresh, I didn't find any of the campaign ad in Facebook, even which make their campaign private. You must know. I didn't find any of the campaign ad in Facebook, even which make the campaign private. Suresh, sorry, I didn't get your question. Suresh, sorry, I didn't get your question. Maybe you can just write the question to me. I will directly address that to you. Right. Great, guys. I think we have already crossed the time. So hope this session is very useful to you guys. We are going to have more sessions like this. Maybe you guys can share feedback to us. I'll share across, the email ID. I'm going to write the email ID here. sellersupport@mydreamstore.in. So this is the email ID. Guys, please shoot across. Your feedback. Your feedback will definitely help us improve these kind of sessions. So if you have any suggestions, if you have any queries, or if you have any suggestions for the next session, please post here. Send across an email to us. So we'll definitely try addressing that. All your feedback. Great. Great, guys. There'll be a lot of learning going forward also. In case you guys have any questions, shoot an email to sellersuccess@mydreamstore.in or sellersupport@mydreamstore.in. Great. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, guys.